Hi everyone, Reverend Dr. Katie here, and I am coming to you today to talk about a topic that seems really fundamental, really basic to Jesus followers, but actually it's really tricky to wrap your mind around, and that topic is faith. So one of my favorite quotes, and this comes from Anne Lamott, is the opposite of faith is certainty. I'm going to repeat that. The opposite of faith is certainty. This means, and I believe in the core of my being that this is true, that to be faithful, to have faith, is to be open to the possibility of uncertainty. Faithfulness means that we don't have to know how to figure things out, and we don't have to know the outcome of things. But when we say something like have faith, we often mean have faith that God is going to work things out exactly the way we want and exactly the steps that we want. They'll testify. Have you ever been there? Have you ever been sitting around telling God exactly how God needs to get things done in the world, in your life, to help you with your intentions, to help you with your goals, all of that, right? We all do that at some point because we're humans. But as we actually grow in our metaphysical life, in our spiritual life, in our Christian walk, we're going to learn and experience more and more uncertainty. We're going to have a lot of uncertainty about a lot of things. And those are usually the things that we don't need to control them. So faithfulness is actually about learning to live very nimbly within the uncertainty. And also knowing that we can set our intentions, we can set goals for our lives, spiritual goals, metaphysical goals, goals around our physical surroundings. And faithfulness means that we know we're bringing those into our awareness, into our 3D world, into our vibration, when they're in alignment with God, through our actions, through our vibration. But we detach from exactly how that will look like or exactly how it happens. So sorry, y'all. I got you ever get a hair just stuck right in the crease of your glasses? That happens sometimes. All right, so let's get used to this idea then. To be faithful, to have faith, actually means living with joy in times of uncertainty. It means that we don't have to figure out the whole plan. We don't have to have a PowerPoint presentation about exactly how things will go. That leaves us open to the possibility that things will be better than we could ever imagine. It also lets us navigate when times are hard, when times are challenging, when we're feeling low, when our energy is low, when our vibration is low. It's simply an act of faithfulness to be attentive to ourselves, to rest, to raise our vibration. That is actually an act of faith. There's kind of a cliche saying, but I think it's true, that planting a garden is a radical act of courage. It's a radical act of faith. Because when you plant those seeds, you don't know how the garden will turn out. So this is actually a really good metaphor. You can plan the garden, you plan your drainage, you plant the seeds at the right time, but you're really relying on things like the rain to come, on the sun to come, and you don't know exactly how those plants are going to turn out, right? You don't know which bugs are going to come and sort of chew on them a little bit, but it is your faithful actions that is the process of the loving acts that you are creating within your own life. And so if that garden metaphor is resonant, living a life of faithfulness means that, we do all of our faithful work by tilling the soil, planting the seeds, doing that in a way that's wise, but detaching from the specific exactly how that's going to look or exactly the obstacles that are going to come, what lessons we're going to learn, like all of that. So how does this relate to your metaphysical life? This relates so well to your metaphysical life because it gives us the opportunity to detach from having to figure out the exact what before we engage the process. What do I mean by that? Let me just say it again. It gives us the ability to detach from the exact what, like what are my gifts, and allows us to engage the process. So for instance, we can enter into the process of discovering our gifts without having any attachment to what they will be. And that way we can get really surprised when we discover we have a gift for spirits, we have a gift for angel communication, when we have a gift for getting in touch with the chakras. If we have a preconceived idea of how that's going to look and what exactly we're going to do with it, we never get to have fun on the journey. So what I love to help people do is actually have fun on that journey, go through a variety of options for themselves so that they can discover exactly what their gifts are. The faith part of it is going through the process. It's going through the process that is actually the radical act of faithfulness in your own life, because you're not certain what the outcome will be. You're only certain that there will be one. But that could look really differently than you thought that it may. So the act of faithfulness is actually being faithful to a process. It's being faithful to yourself. It's being faithful to your vibration. It's not being faithful necessarily to doing things in a format that has to look like a way that you think it has to look like, or by attaching to maybe old dogmas that aren't serving you, or by being faithful to a particular outcome. So faithfulness is actually being open to a radically new future that we might not even be able to dream of yet. So I hope that that is resonating. It's a really, really different way to think about faith than many of us were taught when we were growing up, but it actually means we can embrace like a whole new way of being that can be really, 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 really liberating. So I'm just going back to a post from a few days ago so I can read up on some of the comments. So a lot of people were resonating with that yeah, your faith is always growing, right, every day. And so if we're committed to faithfulness being certainty, or faithfulness meaning things stay the same, we're always going to feel stuck. That means that we're going to feel very, very stagnant. And so faithfulness actually means being open to the idea that maybe we have resistance, maybe we're wrong about something, maybe we have more room to grow, that's an act of faithfulness. So I'm going to read one question that came in that I thought was really helpful. Okay. Accepting receiving from my faith means that there is uncertainty. I agree. I don't know what I will receive or accept as far as guidance or a gift. I just know that I will not be left without anything. How should we strengthen staying open to receive and accept? I think this is a great question. So this is really a vibrational question. So this means really working on your vibration, what energy you are putting out there into the world so that you can receive exactly that back. And so if we put out an energy of being open to receive, that means we have to be in a posture to receive as much as we are to give. And that's a really hard one for a lot of us because most of us enjoy giving. And so what would it mean to receive all the gifts of the universe, all the gifts of God, to receive that energy, to receive that vibration, maybe to receive guidance, to receive mentorship, however, to receive community, however that may look like for you and your future. So I think this question to me is to be open to radically receiving and without limits. God is not putting limits on what God is willing to give us in terms of our spiritual life. And so I'd say let's all commit to not limiting God, but receiving everything, all of the gifts that are out there that are meant for us. And so I think that's a vibrational question. So I would just continue to sort of up level your vibration as much as possible so that you are wildly open to receive. Now, I happen to be recording this on a full moon. I think this is super appropriate. So full moon in October as I'm recording this. So this is a beautiful day for those who are watching now to open yourself up to that moon energy, to that full moon energy, to receiving all of the spiritual goodness that is out there for you, and doing that with some gratitude. Gratitude is another great way to raise your vibration, and working on that for now. And then, yeah, if I can serve you in any way, if any of you would like a little guidance on this journey, being radically open on living a life of faithfulness that also may be one of uncertainty, reach out to me anytime. I'll be happy to offer you what I can. All right, everyone. It's good to see you, and I will talk to you soon.